Well, hello, and thank you for joining us on today's episode of Plumbing Marketing Profits. Today we're actually fortunate enough to have Mary Jean Anderson of Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air out of the San Diego market on the line with us. She was recently recognized as the Plumbing Contractor of the Year by the PHCC, and she's got some great knowledge and wisdom that she can share with us on the call. So, Mary Jean, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and appreciate the congratulations. It was a fun event, and we're really grateful to have won.
Yeah, that's quite an honor. Did you guys do anything special to celebrate or commemorate the event?
No, other than 4 generations of us, my mother and my granddaughter, even all of us took off for Philly to receive the award. And I'm also really appreciate the award, but as a marketing person, which is what I love to do, any kind of award that your company can achieve is of great value to you moving forward, because customers want that. So
Absolutely.
It was wonderful for many different reasons.
It was fun to get it, and it's also a great marketing piece that you could say, look, we're the Plumbing Contractor of the Year by PHCC.
Absolutely.
So if
national, too. A big one.
Yeah.
National.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, it's a really big deal. So if you don't mind, tell us just a little bit about your business, how long you've been around, approximate revenues, number of trucks, the types of services that you offer, and the actual service area that you service there in the San Diego market.
Sure. We have been in business since 1978. It started as a family business. After I had my children, I came to work in 1983 and full-time, and was able to, learn a lot. I mean, you learn a lot without having to physically do it. I think I could fix just about anything now, even though that's not what I do. I was able to buy my partners out in 2004, I believe it was. And from there I ran it. I flipped it to a female-owned business. And, of course, you want to be recognized and known for wherever you go. So at that point, we painted our trucks actually pink on the bottom, and then I have a large, giant picture of myself, which, believe me, no woman wants to do. But if you want to be memorable in this industry, and if you're a woman out there working with your husband, I would highly suggest it, because it took our company over the top. So, our trucks are moving billboards, and they're very important to the overall branding of our company. We have grown it. I bought a small company and threw that into the mix. Tried a couple of franchises that didn't work for me. And today we'll do $11 million in revenue this year. In 2007, we were at $5.2 million. So to do $11 million in this economy, I think we've done quite well.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, we're double-digit profits, and I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying that it can be done. I'm not trying to throw it out there, but it can be done. Anybody can do it, because believe me, there's nothing that I'm not a genius. I'm not I'm just a hard worker. I'm average intelligence. So, but it can be done if you put the energy into it. We are. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. We're going to be this year. I think we're going to be at about $5 million in heating and air conditioning, and about 6.2 in plumbing as we end out the year.
Nice.
You asked about trucks, I'm sorry. We have 45 trucks, 22 are plumbing service, 8 are heating and air conditioning service. We're newer in heating and air. We started that in 2007 when I bought that small business I talked about earlier. We have 3, we do things a little bit different than other companies. We break things out. We have 3 repipe crews, and we have 2 drain salespeople, and then we have 5 drain crews. We have 5 install heating and air teams, and I hope that makes sense. But we have people that sell the work and people that install the work.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right, so you got your guys that are out there in the field doing the estimates and selling the service, and then the guys actually go in and do the work and make sure it's done well.
Right. Now, of course, we have quality control supervisor as well. I have found, after being in medical field, which was my original education, and working with doctors and plumbers, they're, very different in the way that they learn. I don't believe anyone's more intelligent than the other, honestly. But they learn different ways, and they are better. And we just divide them out by their capability. It's hard to find somebody that's really technically sharp, that has great communication skills. That's what we look for, and we actually test for that up front. But if they're really, really good technically and are really strong, but their strong suit isn't dealing with customers, then they're more on the install side, and somebody else does the work.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. Put people where they're their strongest and leverage their strengths.
Right. Right.
Wow. And so you grew from $5 million to $11 million in arguably one of the toughest economic climates over the last 10 years here. That's phenomenal.
Yes, and I seriously don't take credit for this. And as we go through and you ask me questions, I'll be able to explain how we got there. But it's not just because of me. Like I said earlier, I'm average intelligence. I'm a very hard worker. And I don't have much ego about me. I learn from other people. I'm more than willing to learn. And I think that's what's been a success, is that I listen to other people. I look, my mom always said, show me your friends and I'll tell you all about you. And I've worked really hard to surround myself with the best, best technicians I can find, the best products, and the best mentors out there. And that's where I am. That's why we are where we are today.
Excellent. And if you don't mind my asking, so you started in the business full time back in I guess '83. Do you remember offhand about how much revenue the business was doing at that time?
About
if you don't know, we'll just...
$1.5 million. Yeah, about 1.5.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. So that's quite a climb. That's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if we start to look at the marketing plan for the business and how you've taken it from what was a $1 million business to a $12 million business over the last several years, a couple decades. I feel like any marketing plan has three core fundamentals: the market. So, who are your ideal customers? The message. What are you saying that's making you unique? That's making people choose you, and the media. So, I want to drill down on each of those three. As we go, and I think the best place to start really is the market. Obviously, you guys have a world-class organization and a very robust marketing strategy. I'm just curious as to what you guys have identified as your target market or your ideal customer there in San Diego.
That's a great question. We have it very drilled down, and our demographic is white-collar, double-income, over 35 years old, and seniors.
Okay.
And everything that we do is generated towards that market.
Excellent. And it's interesting because as I do these interviews, as I talk with people in plumbing and outside of plumbing, the clearer you have that demographic, the more you can really pin down what your actual customer is. Typically, that's an indication of how successful your business is. So you guys have done a real nice job drilling down on that and knowing what that market actually is. So with that said, once you know what your market is, you can start to craft the message, and you can put together something that will resonate with that specific audience. And I've read through your website, and I know that you have some really good, unique selling propositions in place. Down from the pink truck to everything else. But what would you say is your unique selling proposition, and how you position yourself in the eyes of your customers?
Well, I think integrity that is starts with me. I sat on the board for the Better Business Bureau here, which is actually a very reputable in town. And I really believe in ethics, and I believe in integrity, and I believe in doing things right, and that's a core value. And I also, coming from, my dad was a blue-collar worker. He was a very intelligent man, and he just learned differently than the doctors I worked with. His older brothers and sisters were all college graduates, so he had intelligence. He just learned differently, and he was successful working with his hands. He was touch scale C, and that's what I've learned about the guys that I work with, is that, guys and gals, that they learn a different way. They're as smart as the next person. They just have a different way of learning. And I think that they know, I believe that, and they know it, and they get it, and so they want to work hard. And I feel that what we've done it's made our people very proud to be who they are and what they've achieved. And if you're proud of who you are and what you're just going to do a good job. So that's our whole brand is we care and we're good about what we do, and we don't just mouth it, we live it, we believe it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Excellent. And I love the catchphrase that seems to be on most of the material I've seen. Nobody wows clients like we do. So you guys really go out of your way to create that wow experience for the customer.
And we do, weekly meetings, and we do monthly. We talk about what we did to wow. And it builds more wowing. It can be anything from, and this is what's going to build your brand and build your client base, it could be anything from stopping at an automobile accident, stopping for a gal that fell off a horse, raking up the leaves for a senior who says, oh, I'm so embarrassed I can't rake up these leaves. The HOA is supposed to do it and they never do. And when we're done with our work and we take them out to see the work, we rake up the leaves and put them in a bag. How long did that take them to do? 10 minutes. What did that do for the customer? It wowed them, and that's exactly what you have to do. But you have to believe in yourself and be proud of who you are to be able to want to do that, and then you have to talk about it in groups.
Right. Yeah, you don't be shy about saying, hey, look, this is what we did, and the customer then will feel so happy they'll want to tell their friends and share it with their colleagues as well.
Right, and it builds the morale in the company because if Jose can do that, then what can I do next time? I'll just grab the trash cans and take them down, whatever,
Right.
And we talk about it in our own group. When I said that, we talk about it in our own group setting on monthly meetings. What did everybody do? What surprised the customer?
Okay.
And it's a feel-good thing for everybody.
Excellent. And so that creates this sense of competition. How can I make sure that I'm creating that wow experience too?
Right.
Maybe one-upping the other guy to some extent to create that positive experience.
And then, of course, the biggest thing is inspect what you expect, and that's kind of, you've got to make sure they're really doing it. And so we do happy checks after every single one of our calls within 24 hours to make sure the customer was happy. It's all in branding and building. It's all in marketing. It is. It sounds like it wouldn't be under that heading, but it is. Because if you can call your customer and make them happy, they're going to market for you.
No doubt. And so what's the mechanism for these happy checks? Is it a phone call? Is it an email? What's the happy check mechanism?
It's a personal phone call. We call back initially, and if we try to call, we actually try to call within an hour of the service so that if people are working, that they can grab the call before they go back to work. But the goal, they have to do it. There's check-off lists that go to certain people, and all customers have to be called within 24 hours. And then on Saturday, those that left a message, we have a Saturday person that calls everybody one more time and leaves a second message. After that, we don't bother them again, but we do try twice.
Okay, excellent. That's a great strategy right there. I would imagine operationally that's a challenge, or at least it was at some point, getting the people in place, ramped up, and consistently making that happy call. But that's probably a key reason why you guys are doing as well as you are.
It was. To put it in place was, it's whatever you focus on happens, and we had to focus on it, and we had to make sure, and we, had to regularly hold meetings on why this is so important, but once it's in, once you get something like that going, it's just a rhythm. It's just part of the day.
Mm-hmm. Just part of your day-to-day business operations, and that's just the way that it goes. All right, so now let's start talking about media and marketing channels. And typically, when you just talk about marketing in general, your mind goes straight to that. Direct mail, TV, brass on the truck. But the other two components that we've just talked about in depth here in the last 10 minutes, what the message is and who the customer is, are actually probably even more important than the media. I agree with that, right?
I totally agree, yes. And I think the thing that we all have to keep in our heads all the time is that you're not going to need a plumber but every 3 years. And you have to, there's a couple of things that you have to do. One is you have to stay in their mind and create something where they're a memorable experience or something they'll see on the road and they'll remember you by. And the other is to keep those customers. And I think that's the marketing that people tend to forget about. We do several things that where we keep our customers engaged with us, and so that they don't call somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as putting stickers on everything, water heaters, and all of that, to we have one person that's an outbound. We call him, what's his title is, something control. I'm going blank on his title, but basically what he is inside sales. He has a different title. But what he does is he calls our customers regularly and he reminds them that that we did a stoppage for them 11 months ago, and it's just about to expire. Would they like us to come out and run the camera? So we do add-on sales all the time, or they call our people. We sell service agreements. We call our service agreement people to make sure that they come in. That it's time for us to come out and do the tune-up. We call our regular customers and offer them specials during the downtimes. We know April is always going to be a bad month for us, so we call a lot of people in April, and we offer whole home. A water heater flush and whole home plumbing inspection for $49. It gets us in the door. It keeps the trucks moving. So that's a component. I mean, we can talk about Yellow Pages, and I can give you specifics, and we can drill down on all the different things we do. But I think you first have to look at your client base, because that's where they know you and they're going to spend the most money. So you've really got to work on them first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then, as we look at that marketing mix, what specific tactics or channels are you guys leveraging? We talked about, direct mail, Yellow Pages, billboards. What types of things are you guys doing for that net new customer call type acquisition?
Well, number one, our trucks are billboards, and that's the best investment you can make, because it's very inexpensive to get your truck looking really nice and memorable, whether it be somebody with their hand waving at all times. I know one guy that has his hand on a spring, and so he waves at everybody that goes by, to my face on the side if you're female owned, too, because a lot of the colors could do, bright orange, and there's a lot of things you can do. So billboard your truck, number one. For us, we do radio and television. We do primarily in our market. Television works better for us. But everything that we do, we drive people to the internet to get to our website. So when we do a commercial, on radio or TV, we tell them, go to our website and look at our specials. Go to our website to learn about this. Go to our website. And it's simple. It's www.andersonpha.com for plumbing, heating, and air. So andersonpha.com. And so our main source of revenue comes through the internet. We have a lot of back-end things where we track. The one thing I'd like to tell people is that you should track everything, and that there's companies out there, I didn't know about these till maybe 5 or 8 years ago or so, and it's wonderful, is you rent phone numbers, and every single one of them, the calls are recorded. It's very inexpensive, so if you're going to put an ad in the Yellow Pages, which, by the way, I was out after 3 years, I'm back in and doing quite well with them, another whole story, but every single page has a tracking phone number, so not only do you know that that's ad's working, because when someone calls in and to touch their number to, they say the Yellow Pages, that call has also been recorded, and you know what book it came out of. You can do that with Yellow Page ads. You can do it with every page on your website. I mean, you can go on and on with these tracking numbers, but it's really the way to hone in on what's working for you.
Absolutely. And I love what you said there about the Yellow Pages, because I'm finding that a lot. There's so much information about the Yellow Pages no longer being relevant, nobody using it. But again, as I talk to the most successful plumbing businesses, I'm finding that your key demographic, you should probably, some of them are still accessing the Yellow Pages, and with so many competitors pulling out and the cost of the ads going down, seems to still be a viable channel for generating opportunity.
Exactly. I totally agree. An ad that, here we have 5 major books, and I used to pay for a double truck back years ago, $12,000 for a double truck, a 2-page, ad. And now for all my books, all 5 books, I pay $4,000 a month. So, you're talking about a significant change, but I did back out for a few years and said, I don't want anything to do with you. It's not working. And so, but now they work quite well. In fact, they work very well for what I pay for them. They had just priced themselves right out of the market, and now that they're reasonable in their pricing, it's worked out well for us. So, and I track everything. Everything is tracked that we do. And Yellow Pages is now viable as long as you don't pay too much for them. They work. And it could have to do with our branding, too, that people may open the Yellow Pages now that they didn't 15 years ago, and they see us and they saw us on TV. You know, it's the whole see you on TV, see you in the mail, see you on the street, you know, and then see you in Yellow Pages. So that but Yellow Pages does work for us now, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm just curious, on the TV radio medium, what type of ads are you putting out there? What's the message on those ads? Obviously, you're driving them to the Internet, but is it changing on a season-by-season basis? Is it some type of low-cost special to come in and do an inspection? What are you trying to lead with on those ads?
Well, I would welcome anybody that's listening to this iPod to go to YouTube and then put in our company name, Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air, and probably 42 of our commercials will come up, at least. And basically, we really work on branding, number one, on branding, and we talk about the services that I learned early on that if you say plumbing, heating, and air, it doesn't make people realize you do plumbing, heating, and air. For some reason, I've had people say, gosh, if I wouldn't have bought my heater from so-and-so if I'd known you and I thought you just did plumbing. It's like, really? It says it on our shirt. It says it on our truck. We say it when we answer the phone. How do people not get that? So we focus on that on the commercials to let them know that the services we provide, and we get kind of in-depth. We say we do drains, we do big drains, we do little drains. You know, we talk about all the different things that we do. We do specials. We do, right now, for instance, we're running a pre-season tune-up special. We drive a lot of work through our tune-ups on heating or air conditioning. So we normally do the $67 plan ahead special. So that's what we're running right now on the heating and air side. So we do have, times of the year that we know we need to build business in certain areas. But generally, we really focus on letting people know that we do everything and exactly what we do.
Excellent. As far as other channels, are you doing any direct mail as far as letters in the mail, Val Pack, or any of that type of stuff?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I've tried it. I was a direct mail person for a lot of years, and I don't want to say anything bad about it because I know people that run very successful businesses with direct mail. I did it for many years, and it became less and less of a value to us over the years. What we do is, because we've been in business for so many years and have a large customer base, we send not a Christmas card. We send a Thanksgiving card, and we send a Valentine's card to our customers twice a year. And in that, we give a plastic, hard, just like $50 gift card. And that's probably the best, it's fabulous direct mail, actually the best direct mail we've ever done.
Okay. And you get a response from that, or is it just a good way to remain top of mind with that loyal customer base you've built up over the years?
Incredible response.
Okay.
Incredible response.
Wow.
Not well, immediately, absolutely immediately. I mean, we'll get people call, especially seniors, which is a good target market, and they'll say, I haven't had a Valentine's card in 20 years, and I opened the mail, and I'm so thrilled. They don't even know what to do to send the money because they want to, because they're so appreciative of the card. So, that's just one of the things you can do.
So not your traditional, send out 1,000 pieces in the mail or 10,000 pieces in the mail, but really targeted follow-ups to your existing customer base to build that loyalty even deeper.
Yes.
That's very nice.
And we do email. We collect email addresses on all of our customers. What we do is we collect these. People don't want to always give it, so we tell them that we're going to send them an email and confirm the time of the arrival, and we'll send a picture and the bio of the technician that's showing up so that we can collect their email address for a real reason, but then, of course, they go straight into our email bank, and then we use constant contact, which is very inexpensive, and, you can use your constant contact when you're slow. I did it recently. We had a real slow deal, and I just said on Tuesday, this is going to be a horrible week. Let's just do a 30% off for any service or repair. Now, this wasn't install or new stuff. It was very specific. And they filled our board. And you know what? We would have been slow, so did I mind? Not really, because it got us out in front of the people to sell extra stuff. So that,
and it did generate that bump to get the trucks moving again.
Yep, it did. It did. So constant contact, email, collecting email addresses is so important. So important.
And so, yeah, you just gave a huge tip, and this is something we find too in what we do, is if you just tell the customer, give me your email address after service because we want to follow up with you, the resistance to that is extremely high. But what you just said was, at the time of booking the service, say, hey, collect the name, phone number, address, schedule the time, and then get the email while you're at it, and we're going to send a confirmation with all of the information you need. And that's a powerful way to grow that email list. So that's a huge tip if you're listening.
And it also is on the back end, because if you tell a customer we're booking you between 2 and 4, let's say, when you send that email, it says, we'll be there no earlier than 2 and no later than 4, you have a confirmation, because I know everybody out there that's listening has gotten that call. You said you'd be here at 2 o'clock. I've been sitting for an hour and a half and nobody showed up. But they have that email, so they can't say that anymore.
Right. Yeah, well, what about the email? Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask something that might be proprietary, so if you can't answer this, that's fine. What mechanism is it that you're using so that email goes out right after the appointment is booked? Is there a special CRM, or is that something custom that you guys developed?
It's something custom. It does take a little more time. I'm actually looking for a better way to do it right now.
Okay.
But we have Successware, which is quite is great, and I'm hoping that they're going to be adding that to our package soon, because we do it in a little bit of a cumbersome way itself put together.
Okay. Because I think it's a brilliant idea, and I've seen it executed a couple different ways. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any really streamlined way to book an appointment and have a series of emails go out automatically. So that's interesting. Moving on to networking, I know that you're involved in a number of organizations. What type of networking do you guys do in order to develop that relationship in the community?
Well, are you talking? You mean? Well, I've always been a proponent of doing work for others, of helping others, and doing it as a company. I believe that that it builds morale, and it is kind of the way life is. If you ever feel bad, go do something for somebody else. And so I've kind of taken that, and so we've always been a company that does reach-out work. We do a lot of reach-out work, never really realizing that there is a whole marketing effort around cause marketing. And so I would say to people that have a very limited budget, get involved with your Humane Society, things like that, because pretty much everybody that has a dog has owns a home. And, there's places you can go that you can do work where you'll build a clientele. For instance, just by example, I don't have breast cancer. I have not had breast cancer, but my grandmother died of it, and I have 2 maternal aunts that have had breast cancer that are survivors, and I lost my best friend breast cancer. So one of our major causes is finding a cure for breast cancer. Well, that's a whole market of people right there. And we do a lot of work for people because they know us and they know the work that we do, and it just passes like wildfire. And so I even got recently Padre tickets. Got the best Padre tickets you could imagine for the 25th of the price, because when I called to book them, I went to get my credit card. The gal said, I know you. My mother had breast cancer. I'm going to give you my discount. I ended up getting 30 seats for 25%, right down on the field. Never would have expected that in a million years. I wasn't asking for it, didn't expect it, but that's how you get to be known. And when people are undergoing chemotherapy, they need to be comfortable. When they're sick, they need your help. And so they're a really good market, and you're doing something good, and you're bringing a base to yourself, and you're building your company morale. You know what I mean? It's just a whole process. So cause marketing is another whole deal in itself that people don't realize is an incredible way to market yourself. And I happened upon it. I happened upon it, but now I've been reading, and now it's a whole big deal of cause marketing.
Yeah, and it's not something you would look at and say, okay, I'm gonna do all of this cause marketing. I'm gonna try and build awareness for a cause that has nothing to do with my business. And it's really hard to connect the dots as to how the heck is that going to come back to me as a business in a way that's going to help us get the phone ringing and get more repeat and referral business. But I think you've executed on that in an outstanding way.
Yeah, I think like I said, it was by happenstance. It wasn't something that I planned, but it really does work, and that's one of the things that we do. So I would highly recommend it, and it's not expensive really. I mean, and what it does to build morale in your company is great.
Nice. Now, I noticed you've been using public relations and putting out press releases on MarketWire and a variety of other sources. Obviously, one of the press releases I saw was for breast cancer awareness and how you guys are raising money. Are you doing anything else along those lines? Leveraging public relations. I imagine you put out a press release pretty frequently.
We do because, as you know, search engine optimization has become the thing, and we spend a lot of money on pay-per-click, but the majority of people really don't use the top three pay-per-clicks. They usually go down into the body of the first page, so we work hard, and part of those press releases has something to do with SEO. I've got somebody doing that for me, and it helps to build that search engine optimization, and so that's part of it. Part of the
Excellent.
whole, yeah.
Yeah, what she's talking about there is that, if you take something that's newsworthy, like raising money for breast cancer or some new service that you're offering, you can put that out on the press release, and by putting out one press release, you can pick up a lot of citations for your company, a lot of inbound links, which, like she talked about, helps with SEO. Real quick, just jumping back to networking, I was looking, as far as Chamber of Commerce, BBB, Business Networking International, how involved are you as an organization in those types of networking organizations, if at all?
I actually sat on the board of the Better Business Bureau for a period of a couple of years, and I took a leave of absence, and I'm actually going to start back in 2013.
Okay.
So I'm involved with that. I don't, we do a lot of, like I said, a lot of cause type of things, but I really don't do a lot of, I don't like to do those breakfasts in the morning where, I don't like to do that kind of thing. I'm not good at it, and
right.
We've never been successful in it. We're more successful in doing reach-out programs. For instance, you had mentioned home shows earlier, and that's one where we do our cause stuff. We bring a spinning wheel, and on it we have our $50 gift card. We have handmade bracelets that are made by our people. We have that are made in CSRs when they're in between calls. We have ice cream certificates. We have tune-ups, that we give away free, and people spin the wheel and they donate for our cause, and then that money goes to the cause. But we're a soft sell. We're out there doing something in the community, but everybody knows who we are, and then we're giving away our services for their donations. So it's another way just to build your business. But I don't do a lot of the outreach other than the board of directors with the BBB.
Okay, all right, yeah, good. I was just curious about that. Now, the other channels that we touched on briefly here, obviously we talked about internet, and I want to drill down on that a little bit further. Do you guys do any of the lead buying services like Service Magic or eLocal Plumber or any of those other services where you pay per lead, or have you kind of moved beyond that?
Move beyond that. We have done Service Magic, eLocal. What I have found is that they deliver the one lead to too many people, and you just can't. It just hasn't been ever worth the money to us. Now, Angie's List is another story. Angie's List is in the listener's town. We do quite well with Angie's List, City Search.
Okay.
We do well with. We actually do sales with Angie's List. They're called the Angie's List Big Deal, and they're similar to Groupon. But we offer a whole house plumbing inspection and a water heater flush or a tune-up at a drastically reduced price. They buy them from Angie's List, and then Angie's List pays you a percentage of the sale. And we do quite well with those to fill the board on slower times. Angie's List is good. Yelp is not our demographics. We have terrible reviews on Yelp right now.
Really?
Some of them are not. Yeah, some of them are not ours. Some of them are fake. They're written by
bad,
people
bogus reviews.
that. Yeah, we're one of the larger companies in town, and we definitely have a target on our back. I'm actually hired an attorney, and I don't know what I'm going to do about Yelp because it's typically the Yelp is somebody that's very frugal, and they're looking, and they're not our demographics. They're young, and so and like I said, it's been a target for us. If you go to Angie's List, which is a paid site, which is our demographics, you're going to find we have an A rating at all times, and we probably get 3 or 4 straight A reviews a week with them. And with many of the other sites, you'll see if you check us out, we have 4.5 to 5 stars. But Yelp, we don't. We're really in trouble there. And I'm fighting it. Well, I'm fighting it. I don't know what else to do on it. I don't like Yelp, and there's many lawsuits out there, and we don't market with them. And if you don't buy marketing with them, are at the bottom of the heap.
Yeah, they don't throw you a bone, unfortunately. Yeah, that could
they don't.
Could be a struggle.
In fact, I think the opposite. So that's not a good one for us. But everything else, if you're looking for the higher the demographic that pays more, we have another plumber that's here local. I'll just give listeners a hint. And he's always marketing himself as a low-cost plumber, and he said it was the biggest mistake he's ever made, and he's known as a low-cost plumber now. He can't make the switch. But he has a full in-house attorney. I think he's about a $10 million company, but he has a full in-house attorney that handles all of his complaints, because it's that bottom group of people that do all the complaining. I think it's 80% of the complaints come from that 20% of the people. So, our demographics is not bad, and when you work with a more a professional person, they typically understand. And if you do something wrong, they get it, and they are easy to deal with.
Yeah, and that goes back to that what's your market question. If you want to be the low-cost guy, you're going to be going after a different demographic, and you're going to wind up with troubles. Or if you go after the higher-end demographic and you position yourself to be the right choice for that demographic, you'll have a lot of happy customers that aren't going to be penny-pinching you on the price for everything.
I completely agree with you. Very well said.
Now, you mentioned Angie's List on reviews. Do you happen to know offhand approximately how many reviews you have on there currently?
It's funny. I just saw them a lot. I don't want to.
I know it's a lot.
I want to say 900, but maybe it's 300. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot.
I think it's almost 900. When I was looking at it, it blew my mind. I could not believe it. That's amazing. It's a common trend.
Well.
Yeah, it's a common trend that Angie's List is being mentioned again and again as a good source. Once you've got quality reviews on there, as a great source of the right kind of customer. That's not going to be a penny pincher. So,
and may I add our closing percentage is 83% on an Angie's List. Our closing percentage is 88%, and our average ticket is almost $100 higher on Angie's List customer versus a regular customer.
Wow. Okay.
You tell me why. I'd like to know why. Is that the demographics of who they're?
My personal opinion. My opinion on it is it's the demographics. So somebody that's willing to pay a premium because they're paying in order to have access to the Angie's List is somebody that's going to be looking for a good quality contractor that's going to be able to come out on time, be clean, be professional, and they couldn't care less about what you're going to charge. I mean, they care about what you're going to charge, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing are those other factors. So if you've got great reviews and you're a best-in-class organization like yours, well, then you're going to resonate with those types of customers very well. That's why you'd have such a high conversion rate, and then your average transaction sale is higher because it's the right kind of customer that's not worried about price.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do.
Excellent. That's interesting. Now, just to drill down, I know we're going a little bit long, so if we need to cut this off, you just let me know. But just to drill down on internet marketing, you talked about the fact that you do a lot of pay-per-click. You've been doing press releases and other SEO-type stuff. I think you mentioned that the internet is the number one source of business for you right now. Can you just kind of elaborate on that?
Well, we do our pay-per-click, and I have been through 3 different people. I'm on my 3rd one, which is working out wonderfully. I have a certain budget that I put out, and with him, it's funny because he was able to clean them up so well and get them so isolated until it really works for us and not have wasted words, that we're now using some of our pay-per-click money over on YouTube because we didn't need as much as I allocated. So it's really important that you work with the right person. And I don't really know how to tell someone to find that person because it took me 3 people. It was the 3rd person I found that got it right, and it's really saving us money, and it's worth every penny what I pay him. So, but I think pay-per-click is very important. And then, of course, especially if you're in a smaller town and people don't really understand search engine optimization yet, man, if you could get your name up there on that first page, so many more people go. I have heard it's 65%. I don't know what you know, or what you know, maybe statistically that I don't, but I've heard 65% of people go below the pay-per-click, and so you want to be on that first page. So if you Google, which most people use Plumbing San Diego or Plumber San Diego or San Diego Plumber, we will come up on that first page.
Yeah, you guys rank well.
And that's really important because I actually was renting, I don't have to do it anymore, but I was renting sites where they guaranteed me to be on that first page, and it was their phone number, and I rented the page from them, and I was paying per lead to come in that way, and that's when I realized, oh my gosh, it doesn't matter if it's the bottom of the page or the middle of the page, people use those, and so it's just where you've got to go. It's where the majority of the work comes from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the stat you said is pretty much accurate. Some sources tell you different things, but it's somewhere between 65 and 75% of people will look directly at the organic non-paid listings when they're searching. They'll click in that area more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So that's
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that was a great discussion that you just gave us on your marketing mix, and you guys do have a very robust, marketing mix with lots of different channels for people to find you and call you and do business with you. So just to kind of drill down and going on to the next series of questions here, what marketing effort drives the most leads? And I know we touched on this a little bit. What would you say is actually driving the most leads for you now?
Well, it would be people going to our website, but they're directed to our website from TV and from radio and from the internet. Whether it be in pay-per-click or search engine optimization, that's what works best for us. If I had to go out and buy something that I needed calls to come in for, it would probably be Angie's List. That I think cost per lead is quite good, but you've got to get your reviews up there too, so it's kind of a catch-22 there.
Right.
But I would say, our repeat and referral is probably the most inexpensive way to get your customers, and that's by staying in front of them in any way you can.
Excellent. And so, this is a question that's listed here. I think we've already answered it. Most profitable marketing channel sounds like Angie's List based on the conversion rate. But again, it's a catch-22. Just getting started and buying an ad on Angie's List isn't necessarily going to make your phone ring off the hook because you have to have that base of reviews. Are there any marketing efforts that you've stopped recently or in the last couple of years just because they're not performing as well as they once did?
Yes, that's a good question. I like that question. Sales. People really don't. We do have a sale that we offer every month. We have 2 specials on our site, and then we our technicians have a sale for add-on sales with them, and it might be water filtration one month, and the next month it might be a kitchen sink pull-out. So if we're in the home, we have a special that we can offer the customer. But we tried to market specials on the internet, and we tried to market specials on TV, and we found that other than tune-ups, they really don't work. People aren't, at least our demographics, aren't looking to save money. What they're really looking for is the person that's won that award, National Contractor of the Year, or whatever awards that you can win in your local town, People Who Mean Business Award, whatever. There are lots of awards out there. If businesses just look for them, they want to make sure that you have 100% satisfaction guarantee. They want to know how long you've been in business. And those are the things that really sell, not price. It's not about money. And I waste a lot of time focusing on sales, trying to get, internet sales and TV sales. And people just don't, they're not going to, because you have $300 off a water filtration system, they're not going to call you. So if you're in the house and you have $300 off a water filtration, that's a different story.
Right. You get the upsell opportunity there. So I guess the key nugget of wisdom here, you tried just focusing on the coupon, the sale, the special offer, and all your marketing, found that it was a better use of your energy to show why you're different and better, that you've gotten awards, that you've been in business, and you've got all these reviews on Angie's List. That's a better use of your marketing message than just promoting some special discount.
Right. Yes.
Excellent.
That's true.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of keep the ball rolling here. We talked about special initiatives to get. Actually, we didn't. Do you guys have any special initiatives in place in order to get reviews from your? I mean, you've got probably more reviews than anybody I've ever seen on Angie's List. Are you doing anything specific to solicit or to ask and prompt for those reviews at this point?
No, but I am going to start. What we're going to do right now is we're building a web page on our site where people can come in if they have a client concern and they can issue that, and we're going to focus on that. And then if they want to say something good about our company, and then we're going to direct them to sites such as Google. We're going to steer away from Yelp because it's not our demographics anyway, and we're having such a hard time with them. So we are going to start asking, and then what I'm going to do, and I haven't done it yet, but what I'm going to do is do a competition with our technicians, and we're going to, for every time they get a review, we're going to put their name in a hat, and then every month we're going to draw out of that hat, and there's going to be a special gift, whether it be a specific drill that they, or a whole hog, or I don't know, or a TV. I mean, we are going to do that. Maybe even a trip to Las Vegas, but we realize how important reviews are, and we haven't been doing a good job. The reviews that we get are very random. They're just people that write them, but we've never asked for them, and we should be.
Wow, yeah, imagine how many reviews you would have if you guys were asking. That's amazing.
Yeah, we should be. I wish I'd gotten on that bandwagon sooner.
And it seems like a logical place to insert that will be with as part of your happy calls. You guys are already making calls after every service, so it's just a follow up to that happy customer to drive them to that page where they can make that review.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay the customer to. I don't want to pay the customer to do a review. I don't think that's ethical. But I think that if our technicians, I agree with you. I think if our technicians ask them, and then when we do our happy check, if our CSR reminds them, we would have a better chance at it. But and I just think that if they do a really good job and they wow them, that's what we get people to write us all the time. People send us emails and letters every single week. We get 3 or 4 or 5. So if we can turn them into the internet, we would be doing a better job at getting our search engine optimization up and all that.
Excellent. Now, the next thing is social media, and I know you guys, at least from what I've seen, have a pretty robust social media plan. What are you guys doing with social media at this point?
Well, we have Facebook, and we are working on getting the clicks, people to like us on Facebook, and then we do we do our regular blogs, and what we're doing right now is, because this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, anybody that likes us, and we're putting that out through things like press releases and blogs and Twitter and things like that, so that they'll tell friends, and then we donate $5 for every person that likes us. In this month, we donate to Susan Komen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Have you guys seen a notable increase in your likes, as part of that, or have you guys been tracking?
No. I think we've done. I think we've gotten about a dozen this month, which is good because it's hard to get people to do these things.
Sure is.
So it definitely is good. I mean, I've heard of people giving a drawing. If you like, you get into a drawing and you can win an iPad and things like that. And I would rather do it. Again, I'm about the cause marketing type of thing, so I'd rather do it for a cause. People could do it and donate to the Humane Society or somewhere where
but it gives them an incentive that's also adding value to the community as a whole, and not just a self-seeking thing.
And it gets the customer that we want. It gets the customer that we want. Those are the people that we want as customers. We want people that have the same values that we do, and typically people that care about other people are have the same values. They align with what business we do.
Right. So I guess we're coming to the end of our time here. So I want to get through some really important questions I want to ask. So what training organizations do you or have you belong to? As far as just developing yourself, developing your plumbing and heating business.
Well, I don't want to criticize any organizations, but I have been through 3.
All right.
I've been through 3. I've been through 4, let me say. I've been with the PHCC for 30 years, and I use PHCC for laws, technical training, and different technical needs that we have, and legal issues with regard to the state of California changing codes and stuff, and they're really great for that. And then I work with a group called Nexstar, which I highly recommend. Highly recommend. They turned me around. I just can't even, it's the kind of thing that if you, I have reached my maximum intelligence. I think I started off by saying I'm an average intelligent person. I'm just a hard worker, and that's true. And I did everything that a nurse knew how to do, just like a plumber would know how to do when you're running a business. And they just took me off the charts by teaching me what real gross margins were. And, I knew a financial statement. I learned what a balance sheet was. But I really didn't understand, and I didn't have that comparison. Next door I have access to 400 or 500 other companies across the United States that I meet with. I'm meeting with 10 of them tomorrow in L.A. We compare our financials. We talk about what's working this month. What is going on? What can we do? And it's awesome. I highly recommend a Infinity Group, and I would highly recommend Nexstar. And you can tell them I said so if you call them.
So Nexstar is a slam dunk. I've actually heard that a few times. From
oh my God.
Again, guys, if you're on this call and you're wondering, why some of these people I'm interviewing are doing multi-million-dollar business, and they're all mentioning Nexstar and some of these other organizations, training, it's something you don't know is what's keeping you from getting where you want to get.
Right.
So that's a great tip. Were there any? I think you said 3: PHCC, Nexstar.
Well, I've been with other groups, but the two and I've left other groups to move on to better groups. And so PHCC I use for my training and technical, and then for everything else I use Nexstar, which is it's taking me to where we are. I have my individual coach who goes over financials with me every month. I have access to just so much. I mean, I could just go on and on. Even the discounts, because they have group discounts. You can even buy a Ford pickup for your job, and get 10% off no matter what you pay for it. You just send your paperwork in, and you get additional discount and stuff. So, just a lot of advantages to being in a group like that. But mainly it's the networking, because your next door neighbors, plumbing companies, are going to tell you what you need to know. But, somebody in Florida who's successful will share with you. And remember, my mom said, show me your friends, and I'll tell you all about you. I hang out with winners. They're all winners.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Powerful. Now, are there any, outside of Nexstar and PC, are there any trainings or books, maybe even seminars that you've attended that were really impacted your success over the years?
I am about people. I'm going to say books that have to do with sales, but the reality is what I've learned about people that are technical is they learn their communication. And part of sales, part of communicating is sales. And let's face it, if you're a plumber and you walk into the house and you put your head down and you fix garbage disposal and walk off, you're not very professional, because that lady could have a sink that's been clogged up for months by her husband's shaving, but doesn't think about it. So the professional talks about everything in the home. And so the books, my favorite is Dale Carnegie. He's the oldest and the best of the best. And so I actually still keep his DVD in addition to I have his book. So, he's kind of like my little Bible for. And there's Zig Ziglar. I really like. There's 25 habits of highly successful salespeople. But again, I know people think, oh, she's all about sales. And I am about sales. I am about sales because these guys need to earn money to be able to put their kids through college. They're working as hard as anybody else. And the customer doesn't know that tankless is out there. And if you're not a good communicator, you're not going to be able to tell them. And they may want a tankless had they heard about it. And this is what you have to train your people to do. And so those are the books that I focus on.
Okay. Excellent. So what would you say to the plumbing business owner that's wherever they're at, whether they're just getting started or they're doing $500,000 or they're doing $1 million, and they're trying to get to that next level? Are there any specific insights or nuggets of wisdom that you would say to that plumbing business owner?
I would say to reach out, to don't think you can do it yourself, to leave your ego behind. And I think I started this off by saying, I don't have much of an ego that way. I listen to other people, and I go back to what my mom always told me. People will help you. They're out there. Just look for them. Whether it's Nexstar or what is the other one? QHS or QSC or Airtime 500 or any of the groups. There are people that will help you. And don't do it yourself, because you'll isolate yourself and you'll struggle. And it's so much easier when you share your successes with other people's successes and you work together as a team to build a successful company. Just don't do it on your own.
Right. Excellent. Well, this has been wonderful. This is a lot of great information here. We really appreciate you taking the time to share these great ideas and insights. Well, I hope you enjoyed the interview. I'm sure you got a lot of great ideas, strategies, and techniques. If you'd like more, if you'd like to get more specific, actionable ideas on how you can more effectively market your plumbing business, I'd encourage you to go to plumbingmarketingprofits.com. There you can actually subscribe to the podcast so that as new episodes come available, you receive an email. Or you can actually subscribe right within your iPhone or your Android device on iTunes. The entire podcast is available on iTunes, and you can download those straight to your iPhone, your iPad, or whatever smart device you happen to be using. So thank you for your time. Again, if you enjoyed this, if you felt like there was good ideas and strategies and things that are going to add value to your plumbing business, all I ask is you take a few minutes, post your comments, post your feedback, rate it either right underneath the box where you're listening to this, or if you're on iTunes, go back into the episode data and give us a review and let us know what you think. Appreciate your time. Talk to you next time.